Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. I woke up early because there was a cat screaming and yelling in the backyard. So I woke up early, made coffee, and I was like, I gotta play a solo game. So last night I played Marvel United, Fantastic Four versus Doctor Doom. It took me 4 times to. I just knocked everything over. It took me 4 times to beat Doctor Doom. Here's the Marvel United box. You need a base set to play. So you need like either the Avengers or the X-Men. They're like $15 on Amazon, and then I got the Fantastic Four expansion. So now I'm gonna play versus the Super Skrull. So here we got Super Skrull, Invasion of the Super Skrull, and let's check the chat. So if you're interested, you could get my comic. It's still available on Fund My Comic. Working on issue number 2, and even working on issue number 3, and even working on a second comic called Eddie is Doomed. Depending upon how well issue 2 does, I have some exciting or maybe not so exciting news. But might be expanding the Long Box Comics line if issue 2 does well. And here's the StreamYard link if anybody wants to pop in and talk with me. Hey, and we got Dark Alchemy Limited in here. That's my buddy Roy. Roy was on my channel a few times. We did I think the last time Roy was the Halloween Scary Games video. Roy also edited a role-playing game session. We all made up characters from role creation to actually playing a game. That's a lot of fun. So check that out. That's in if you go to my playlists, you could horror for the Roy video of us doing Halloween games, and then role playing. You can see us. It's like 4 couple of hour session videos that he edited out. So, and Roy, if you got the link, if you got nothing to do, if you want to pop in and talk. Yeah, Ernest is always here. The Invasion of the Skrull. So it's all set up, ready to go. The only difference in the board is Latvia is gone, and I swapped it out with the Shield headquarters. The Skrull, I like it. It doesn't tell you where to place everybody. I've learned the hard way that if you put all the heroes in one spot, then in a group game anyway, it really stinks, because if you get attacked, they all take damage, and that's 4 damage in one shot. That's like almost impossible to recover. So I spread them all out. Okay, so let's talk differences. There's no track. So the Super Skrull, if you know from the comics, he has all the powers of the Fantastic Four plus shape change. So the Super Skrull cannot be damaged as long as there's crisis tokens on his dashboard. So you put him here. Okay, heroes in his location could spend a heroic action to remove a crisis token from there. When a hero is KO'd, so if they get knocked out, the Super Skrull does not activate his BAM. Instead, draw a Master Plan card and add it face down in the storyline. The KO hero gets a KO token if they have none. Now, in the cooperative game, individuals can't get KO'd, but it's easier to knock them all out. So that's kind of a wash. All right. So when he bams, so it's called a BAM in this game, so they still do like the old Batman. So when you play a card with the BAM, deal 1 damage to each hero in the Super Skrull's location, then resolve. So he gets bonus abilities depending upon the symbols on his card, and I'll deal with that as we play. So I'm just going to start. So as always, the villains go first. So I'm going to draw the first villain card. So the Super Skrull Challenge. Move clockwise to the next location with the hero with no KO token. So the Super Skrull, it just tells us to attack. I didn't know this happened. This is the first time I played Super Skrull once before, but I don't remember. So, and then bam, so you put the card over here. So the Human Torch right away gets hit, which really sucks because his starting card gets knocked out of his hand. That just absolutely stinks. And then bam. So it's a good time to get hit because there are no symbols on the board yet. So there we go. Deal damage to then resolve the symbols. Okay. Oh, but here's the bad thing. The Super Skrull gets so he started out with only 4 hit points. Every time he does a bam, he gets another hit point. So the clock is he gets more and more powerful. So the longer it takes to fight him, the harder it is. All right, so that was the Super. So the Super Skrull attacks Johnny Storm, who's just hanging out in Times Square. He's hanging out in Times Square looking for chicks, minding his own business. Super Skrull. So he met a hot chick. Here's the story. So Johnny Storm he meets a hot chick. He takes her to Times Square. He's showed her the sights. Also, he turns around. It's the Super Skrull who was the hot chick and attacks Johnny. There you go. There's the start of the story. I like turning games into stories. Early morning coffee. Actually, it's not early morning. It's 10. All right, so bam, story starts. So the first thing you do is draw a card. You can't attack the Super Skrull until you clear off 2 cards. Oh, a bam. Oh, geez, this is going to be rough. I didn't see this. So on a bam, deal 1 damage to each hero in each location with 1 or more. Oh, I think we just lost. Because Johnny takes a damage. The Invisible Woman takes a damage. we lost on the first round. It's tougher. In some aspects, this game is tougher in cooperative play because this bam, deal 1 damage to 1 hero in each location with 1 or more. So I'm going to start this over again. All right. So we already lost. To the Super Skrull. But now I know how to defeat him. In Dr. Doom's case, it's better to be spread out. In the Super Skrull's case, it's better to be together. Wow. So that'll teach me not to read. So over here, this card says, whenever there's a bam, deal 1 damage to each hero in each location with 1 or more civilians. So the civilians in this game are actually Skrulls in disguise. The civilians on every spot. So if I spread them out, they're all going to take damage. Okay, each civilian in an adjacent location requires 2 to be rescued. Wow. And this says deal 1 damage to each hero in each location with a thug or more. If there is at least 1. Oh my God, this is rough. So okay, so I'm gonna restart the game. We already lost. Super Skrull defeated us in 1 move. We didn't even get to go. Holy moly. So let's get the starting cards back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wow. This is gonna be rough, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. So there you go. Good night. All right, so I'm restarting the game. So I'm taking a Skrull. So he's going to go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holy mackerel, the Super Skrull really wants to beat us. So we lost already. So, bam. Deal 1 damage to each hero in the Super Skrull's location. So that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this, deal 1 damage to each hero in each location with 1 or more. We lost already. Holy mackerel. The Super Skrull is tough. So what do? How do you beat this guy? I got to reset it again. We lost already twice to the Super Skrull. Wow. Holy moly. I guess the best. Are you guys watching this? Fantastic Four didn't even get to go. And they get defeated. Wow. I got to get rid of this card, and I got to get rid of this card right away. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to split the group. They're going to start here, and they're going to start there. Wow, third attempt. This is rough. I think I'm playing right. Wow, this is really, really tough. Super Skrull is tough. Holy mackerel. I thought Doom was going to be the hard one. All right, so let's start again. I got my starting hand is 5. Not that it matters because I had two games and I didn't even get to go. So let's start with the Super Skrull. So he goes 3. 1, 2, 3. There's no BAM. Okay, there's no BAM, so we might have a chance. Magic powers. In the next Master Plan card has a BAM. It uses at least 2 hero cards in the storyline for its effect. Oh, I see. Okay. So, all right. So this is overflow. Okay. So if there's overflow, you take a card and you put it here. What does that mean? If you go to draw a Skrull card and there are no Super Skrull cards, he wins the game. So that burns through his cards fast. So this guy you got to take out fast. And then we put 2. And remember, all the civilians in this particular game are Skrulls. Oh man, this is going to be a Super Skrull is tough. So I got to put another card there. Holy mackerel! And then I put that card there. Now, wow. This is rough. Now again, it would be a little easier if you were playing the regular game, the cooperative game. All the damage comes from a pool. In the regular game, say if I was playing with 3 other people, everybody has their own hand of cards, and it's actually, I think, a little easier. It kind of balances. Well, when you're playing with other people, you deal with other people's egos, and everybody wants to do the cool thing, so you might not want to cooperate. When you're playing with one person, you have total cooperation because every turn is your turn, but all the damage comes from a pool. You know what I mean? So the way the Super Skrull wins is if everybody gets a KO token. So if everybody gets knocked out, they get a KO token. If there's ever 4 KO tokens, he wins. Oh, Sinopia Publishing. How you doing, buddy? Where's on break at the moment. Saw you alive and jumped on to check out real quick. Got to get back to work in a second though. Oh, thank you. That's nice. He's got TV and the magic mushrooms, the time traveling psychedelic mushrooms on Fund My Comic right now. He's got another comic coming out. Good stuff. Good guy. And Ernest says the Super Skrull is not messing around today. I know. Holy mackerel. All right. Well, at least I get to go. Now, there's no crisis tokens on the board. So I get I can take a cheap shot at the Super Skrull right now. So maybe. So we got Reed and the Human Torch with him. So what is the Human Torch? Okay. I kind of want to clear these cards. All right, so Reed is going to play Plasticity. He's got a wild action. So he could do so right away. Reed just punches. Again, this is rough. Let's see. And as long as that card is face up, once per, I could use one of my heroic actions or punches in the adjacent. So he could stretch to adjacent locations. What do I want to do though? This is rough. Do I want to take a cheap shot at the Super Skrull? I think I do. I think I'm just gonna take a shot at the Super Skrull. Boom, because it's a wild action. So Reed just punches the Super Skrull. Okay, now I draw another card. I got the Human Torch in my location also, and so he's gonna have So the human, geez. So what can the Invisible Woman do? All right. So the Invisible Woman is going to play her starting card, Invisibility. So so the way the game works, I don't think I ever showed this, but you look at the symbols of the card beforehand. So she gets the symbols. So she gets a wild action and a heroic action. That's the way it works. The first player always gets a little screwed because there's no card for him. So she basically has two heroic actions. So I want to get rid of these cards because that BAM card is the worst. So she does that. And now she has her invisibility power active. So I could ignore damage, but you got to pay a cost. It's like borrowing from the future. It's like a credit card. So I get one more turn before the Super Skrull goes. I'm going to do this. So Johnny Storm, I got two wild actions, so I'm going to play that. And I'm just going to, and you also get the Invisible Woman's heroic action. So, you get the symbols of the card beforehand. So that's three heroic actions. So boom, he deactivates this threat. So Johnny just clears this card, which says deal 1 damage to each hero in each location with one or more. So he just takes out a Skrull threat. So he figures out a Skrull threat. Boom, 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 boom. And now it says you may discard 1 thug from any location at the end of every turn. So the police, we're going to get the police. Now, the only problem is when we use this power, it doesn't go on this card. But you know what? Who cares? So this card is full, so we're going to get rid of that. So we have to personally defeat the thugs to clear that. If we use the abilities on the cards, it doesn't help us. But you know what? I'll take every help I could get. All right. So now that's 3. That was 3 actions. So now the Skrull's going to go again. Skrull challenge. Move clockwise to the next location with the hero with no knockout token. So he's going to move over here because it says move. So you have to move. So he's going to hit Ben and the Invisible Woman. Now the Invisible Woman is going to use her invisibility. So she's not going to take damage. And Ben is going to take damage. So whereas I can just get rid of any card, thematically, I just have to get rid of a card. Hey, Roy, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing? Can you hear me?
I don't think I can. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can hear you. So the Super Skrull just ran to Times Square and attacked. Sue turned invisible, so she escaped damage, but Ben got hit. So there we go. Have you ever played this game, Roy?
No, not this one.
This is my favorite superhero game. This is my favorite Marvel game. It's a CMON game. You know how I am with CMON. Roy's been to my house. He knows I calmed down recently only because I ran out of room, but I tried to get everything by CMON for a long time. I'm actually in a dilemma because I got everything 2nd edition Zombicide and everything 1st edition Zombicide. I have no room for it, but
how do you compare this game to the Final Girl as a single player game?
I like them both, to tell you the truth. It's like picking between your favorite kids. Final Girl, I absolutely love that game. It's a solo only game. So, but our mutual friend Adam has come over to the house, and I just sat here watching him play and giving him advice. That's how much I love that game. So if you ever come over and want to play Final Girl, that's fine.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
This
we
game,
played it once with the
it
Halloween
might be
episode.
Final. Oh, okay, we did play. So, but this game is designed for people. Mm-hmm. I think playing it solo makes it harder because the solo game, when you play it with people. So if I was to play for Fantastic Four, there would be 12 cards dispersed among, because every player draws 3 cards.
Okay.
And the cards are your hit points. So there's 12 hit points. When you play solo, the one guy draws 5 cards. So there's only 5 hit points. So I'm losing 7 hit points. But I have total cooperation. You know what I mean? Because you use the symbols on the previous card. Well, when you're playing, you want your guy to do the cool thing, and when Scott's playing, he wants Scott. You don't necessarily care who's going next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I want to go over here and I want to hit Doctor Doom. No. I got a good card. So if you move, I don't want to move. I'm in position to hit Doctor. You know what I mean? That happens.
Yeah. But you know,
But
let me say this, John. In a lot of the co-op games I found, it's almost like you're forced to play certain moves, and it's annoying. And there's very few co-op games where you'll actually have a choice. So I think the Return to the Dark Tower was a great one because I feel like there's more choices, and it's not like other people telling you. And last night or the night before, Adam and John, we played Marvel Zombicide for the first time. At least I played it for the first time, and we played 2 characters, but I felt like, we worked as a team, and their choices were helping my choices, and I wasn't just being told what to do.
Right.
So I think those are the games that I would play.
Zombicide, any edition, is a great co-op game for exactly what you said, because whatever the other person does helps you.
Yeah.
And you might give a suggestion. You're like, well, I got a card that I could get 2 items if you could clear out all those zombies. But like,
and it feels like you're working together.
Right. But like with this game, each card lets you do 2 things, 1 or 2 things, and then you take the card beforehand, and it gives you another 1 or 2 things. So you could always do something cool. But there are, like, if you watched last night, there are situations where you just can't do anything on your turn. So at that particular case, you're like, well, I can't particularly do anything because I only have 3 cards, and there's only 3 choices. Yeah. You either attack, heroic action, or move. Those are the only 3 things that you do. So like I can't do any. Roy, what do you need? You know what I mean? So, but like I said, this is the first cooperative game that I find it's super difficult when you play it solo. There's a whole nother solo mode that they came out with, but I didn't bother to read those rules. I think people like it's too tough to play solo, so they made a whole. But so I'll read the new solo rules, or there's 2. They call it the Xavier edition, and it's supposed to be Charles Xavier is sending everybody information and stuff like. And then there's in this Fantastic Four, there's a way to make the solo mode even harder. Jeez, I don't need that. I just Super Skrull beat me twice before I even got to go.
Yeah, I saw that. It was just done.
That wouldn't have happened if 4 of us were playing, because each person would take 1 damage and everybody else would have 2 cards left. But since I had 5 cards, I lost the game. All right, so he just went. I got to draw a card. Yeah, the Super Skrull just attacked. So all right, so what do I want to do? All right, so oh man, so Ben Grimm didn't take too kindly to getting punched. The Invisible Girl is invisible right now, so I'm playing Ben's. I'll put it here. This is his starting card. It's called Rock Like Skin. As long as that card's in play, he could ignore 1 damage on the villain's turn each time, and he gets an attack. And you look, Human Torch played 2 wild actions, so Thing has 3 actions. 2 wild actions and attack. So first he's going to hit the Super Skrull for 1. Boom. Super Skrull gets hit for 1. Then he's going to use one of his wild actions as a heroic action to flush out the Skrull Spies, which is the worst card in the game. So good job. And then he's going to use the last action to punch the Super Skrull again. So Ben punches, grabs the general who's in charge of recruiting Skrull spies, knocks him down, and then punches the Super Skrull 1 more time. Awesome turn, Ben. You are the best.
How do you awesome win, turn, or how many hit points?
So now I'm going to draw another card. Oh. The only way to win is to defeat the Super Skrull. Oh, okay. Let me say hello to Yang. How you doing, Yang? If you're free and want to hop on with Roy and I, come on in. I sometimes forget that if you just joined us, you don't get to see the previous chat log. So I need to paste link periodically. All right, so how do I win? Roy just asked me how do I win. The only way to win is to defeat the Super Skrull, and the only way to oh geez, I'm cheating. Okay, I got to put these 2 damage back. I can't even hit the Super Skrull until Super Skrull has 5 hit points. I can't even hit the Super Skrull until I clear 2 of these cards. So forget that. So Ben's gonna do this then. He's gonna clear these guys. So I got all ahead of myself.
Is it?
All right.
Okay. I'll bring them to you.
All right, so I cheated, and I undid my cheat. I can't hit the Super Skrull until I clear 2 of these cards. I got all excited. So instead, Reed punched the Super Skrull. So instead, he punched a thug. Ben he had wild actions, so he cleared the card and then defeated and rescued a civilian and rescued 2 civilians. There we go. So now at the end of Ben's turn, you may rescue a civilian from this location. So he does that. Unfortunately, when you use these powers, they do not go on the card. So there we go. All right, but we got that Skrull threat defeated. Good. And you don't want there to be too many people on the cards, because then there's overflow actions, and that's bad. So Ben went. I got to draw a card. I got all excited, guys, because Super Skrull. I already feel like behind the 8 ball. So we have an attack. Ben's card gives us an attack. So what would go good with an attack? I think I want to get these starting cards out before I lose them, and teamwork cards sync together. So I'm going to play the Human Torch. That's his starting card. So it's Pyrogenesis. As long as this card is face up in the storyline, you may. Oh, I chased Roy away. Sorry. You may treat heroic actions as attacks. So he has a movement. Hey, Yang, how you doing? Looks like Roy turned into Yang.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I don't know what's going on, but I figured with my wife is in the office today. The internet wouldn't be slow, but it's super windy out. So I think that just caused a problem. But
Could be.
maybe Oh, I just figured this out. You're a damn Skrull. Roy just shapeshifted into Yang. That's what's
I'm the
going
Super
on.
Skrull.
So, Roy, if you're watching, come back. I think the wind just damaged my whatever. I got to get a booster for the internet because the router is upstairs. Anyway,
I've had that problem.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's my turn. I was just waiting for everything to come back. I didn't want people to come back because I realized if you watch this video later, it kind of edits out all of that stuff of the Roy says he had tech issues. I don't know if it was on your side. I think it was on my side, Roy, because I got dumped out too. So I think the problem was me. If you want to come back, but anyway, I'm going to start my turn. I'm going to draw a card. And where is everybody? Where is everybody? So I cannot attack the Super Skrull until I clear one of these cards.
Okay.
So let's see. We got the Human Torch has a movement. Let's see. I want to clear a card. What could Reed do? Because I get a movement from Johnny Storm. So Reed is gonna. All right. So I'm gonna play Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. So he's gonna move because I want to clear these threats. So there's a Skrull description. There's a threat of a Skrull deception in Central Park. And I just realized okay, so Reed moved and there's different symbols. So wow. So I put this here. So Reed does a heroic action in Central Park. He also does some fighting. He fights some Skrulls in Central Park. But I need to clear these cards because these cards are the big threat. The cards in Doctor Doom were minor threats, but the cards in the Skrull. So that's one of the things about this game is each villain has their own rules. Like there's a big Galactus. That's I still have another wave of shipment coming. So I have in the other room a stack, huge. It's 3 stacks from the floor to the height of a switch because I wanted it under the switch so I could still reach the switch. So you can imagine the stacks of Marvel United stuff. And I've only opened 3 boxes. I've only opened the base Avengers, the base X-Men, and now the Fantastic Four. But there's a Galactus figure, and you put it in the middle. And on Galactus's turns, he destroys the locations. And when he destroys all 6 locations, we lose.
Oh, wow.
So I can't wait to play that.
Are you going to have to buy another house to get a new basement just to keep all your stuff? Sounds like you're about to fill up this basement between comics and different gaming items.
It's funny because I had a store. I was paying $500 a month for a storage unit when I lived in Queens.
Ouch.
You can't. I don't know if say something if you can hear me or type something because the camera's going a little wonky. But right in front of me, there's just piles and piles of games that I cleared. Okay, so now that I'm off, my job just called. I'm off for another week, which is great because it's cold. I don't want to go to work when it's cold, so I gotta clear out stuff. I just cleaned out my comic book room. I've just been throwing stuff in the comic book room since I was injured. Just anything I'll deal with it when I'm not injured anymore. Well, now it's time to deal with it. All right, so it's now the Super Skrull's turn. What is he gonna do? If the next use the last 2, okay, so he's gonna get a lot of attacks. So he's gonna go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's going to Yancey Street. All right. So we got a Skrull in Yancey Street. Sounds like a bad Hallmark movie.
I gotta ask.
And it says bam. So deal 1 damage to each hero in the Super Skrull's location. There's no. Sure.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, as a guy who lives in New York, do you ever get like nostalgic or like if it's Yancey Street or someplace you like, you're like, oh crap, there's a good Chinese restaurant there. I can't let them destroy that. Because for me, it's like the same as you might as well be in the Shire, Well,
so far, the only 3 locations that are real are Times Square, which it could disappear into another dimension as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if I don't want to get political, but going to Manhattan these days is like going to North Korea. You gotta pay a toll, you gotta pay a fine, and that is if you survive the mass transit system to get there, because you don't want to drive because you got to show your papers and you gotta So and Central Park is real. My wife, when she first moved here, that was her thing, that she would take a Saturday, go by herself during the fall and just walk through Central Park, and she loved it. The trees changing color and everything like that. She hasn't done that in 15 years because screw Manhattan as far as I'm concerned. None of these say Long Island, so I don't have any particular love of And Yancey Street is supposed to be Delancey Street in Manhattan.
I got a cousin who lives in Long Island, and he was out for Christmas. And
the Baxter Building.
Oh
yeah.
I was just gonna say, and he has to take the train into work, and this was right when that lady got burned alive on the train, and we were talking about how unsafe the subway is, and he and his wife were like, "No, it's just one person." It's like, oh my god, one person getting burned alive is not too many; it's just one.
Yeah, I take the I take the Long Island Railroad to work. It's safer, but then 25 years ago, some mass shooter went and started shooting people on the Long Island. So whatever.
Yeah.
But you know what? I decide not to take the train one day, and I drive home, and I blood sugar causes me to faint, and I break my neck. So what? Leaving the house is dangerous. So people are like, "Are you mad that you're on furlough?" I'm like, "No, nothing bad happens to me when I'm in this basement. I'm playing a freaking game with Yang, who lives on Jupiter right now. I don't want to leave my house." You know those things that you see on YouTube? Would you stay in your house for $1 million for a month? I'm like, yes.
Hell yeah.
I'm doing it for less than $1 million right now. I don't want to leave my house. I want, I'm going to die in this basement, and then I'm going to haunt the people that move into this house when I'm gone. I'm never leaving. So
that sounds like a comic.
We got to buy. So Super Skrull goes to Yancey Street. Yeah. What? Oh, me. Yeah. Nerd ghost. So now I look at all the symbols. So we got an attack. Deal 1 damage to 1 hero in the Super Skrull's location, which is nobody. Deal 1 damage to each hero in each adjacent location. So the Super Skrull stretches or shoots. Well, yeah, he stretches and punches Johnny Storm. So I got to get rid of a Johnny Storm card. There we go. So this card goes away. And a move. The Super Skrull moves clockwise to the next location. So now he goes to Shield headquarters. So there we go. That wasn't that bad. Like I said, those 2 insta-kill scenarios were only because I was playing a solo game. That wouldn't happen in a normal game. What I want to do, I got to look up. If anybody is in the chat or Yang, if anybody knows if there's like a way that I could get like an internet booster down here, so I could get rid of all this lag and everything like that. Like I think it would be fun to actually have you play with me. Like I could show you the cards, and then you could pick the cards, so we can actually play this game.
Okay.
Because it's real simple. It's real simple, but So okay, so now we get 3 players in a row. So I'm going to draw a card. The Super Skrull is infiltrating Shield headquarters over here, and let's see, where am I? I still can't attack the Super Skrull. I got to get rid of his, because we don't know where the Super Skrull is. He's shape changing, so we got to draw him out. So let's see. I would like to get rid of this. So, Mr. Fantastic. So this is the card that I just played. You see, it has a movement symbol and it has an attack symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing that I like about this game is you also get the symbols on the card previously. So you want to cooperate.
Oh.
So if me and you were actually playing, we would be like, no, I got a good card. If only I could move. So could you play a movement card? I don't want to move. I'm in the position. You know what I mean? So that's where the game breaks down, is egos getting away. So when you play solo, the advantage is you have complete cooperation. But when you play solo, you only have 5 hit points instead of 12. If you know, so this is the card that was previously played. So
okay.
So Reed has all 4 of those symbols. So Reed, I don't know if you could see it, but I need a movement symbol. So Reed is going to disable this Skrull deception. So Reed figured out the Skrull deception in Central Park. So we get to clear this card. All right. So that's good. I think I'm going to play the Super Skrull again, even if I defeat him. All right.
So if you're in 2-player mode and there's a lot of arguing, it really is like the real Fantastic Four, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, bickering mode. Activate bickering mode. So, what is Reed's power? Reed could stretch. Okay, so he could stretch because he's got 2 attacks that that wasn't the smartest move. I just realized because I'm wasting 2 attack symbols. All right, so Reed and I'm wasting. Okay, so he could. Okay, so this is the only thing he could do. Because of his ability, he could stretch over here and rescue this civilian. Okay, so that wasn't that bad. So Reed, even though he's in Central Park, he stretches over to the police headquarters and rescues this civilian. And then at the end of your turn, you may move two people from in any combination from this to any other location. So this location's kind of full. Times Square is empty. So Reed chases 2 people away. Get out of here. There's Skrulls. And they leave. That kind of disperses, because if there's too many people in a location, that's bad. All right. So now we're going to go. All right. So Reed didn't have that bad of a turn. Where is the Invisible Woman? All right. So the Invisible Woman, I'm going to play this card. But since the last time I played the Invisible Woman, she was invisible, I play this upside down to pay the cost, meaning she's not going to give a symbol, which thematically makes sense because she's invisible. So the only thing that the Invisible Woman gets is a move and a punch. So she's going to move. No, that's no good. I'm not going to play that. Because of this Skrull Warriors. It makes sense. The Skrull Warriors hanging out at Shield headquarters. So each thug in these 3 spots require 2 damage to take out. So that'll be a wasted turn for her. So I don't want to do that. And I don't want to waste her other card because so I'm not playing the Invisible Woman this turn. So Johnny, what is Johnny gonna do? All right, so Johnny the Human Torch. All right. He's got 4 symbols. He's got 2 movements, a fight, and a heroic action. So he could take out this card. So this takes a movement, a heroic action, and a fight. So boom, he takes out this entire card. We got rid of 4 of the Skrull's threats. There's still 2 threats left, but we cleared this card. Everything goes down. What was that card? So he used a movement, a heroic action, attack. So all he has left is a movement. I don't even want him to move because this is the best thing about the the Baxter Building. If you end your turn at the Baxter Building, when you get rid of the threats, each location has a boon. So now we can finally use that boon, and this is my favorite boon. At the end of your turn, if you end your turn in the Baxter Building, you get to draw a card. So it's like a healing place. So Johnny Storm. All right. So he got rid of he flushed all the Skrulls out of the Baxter Building. All right. So when you were talking about do I have any soft spot like for location, the Baxter Building is based on a real building. It's 40 East. It's 40 East 40th Street, I think, in Manhattan. And it used around. It was built like around 1902. It used to be called the Mercantile Building. Now it's just called 40 East. And that's where Marvel Comics originally was located.
Oh.
And that's the Baxter Building. And I was the electrician in that building for 3 years. So I was working in that building for 3 years. I didn't know it was the original Marvel location and the location for the Baxter until after I left. But the funny thing is, I would go into, as the electrician, there's wires everywhere. So every once in a while, like the building maintenance guys would have to open up closets so I could get in there. And there'd be Marvel statues and Marvel posters.
Oh,
and I'd be like,
awesome.
What's going on? And they would be like, yeah, this is our stuff. Like they stole it from Marvel and hid it. And they forgot about it. But I'm not going to risk my job to steal like a thing bus that has chips taken out of it and stuff like that. But I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know. And then I went to the current Marvel location and actually worked for Marvel while they were there. And that's when the guy who does he's the liaison between like maintenance people and Marvel. He works for Marvel in that capacity. He's a big Marvel geek, so me and him hit it off. And he was telling me, yeah, we used to be at 40 East where you up. I was like, oh my god, so that was kind of fun. So yeah, I have so this particular card I like because that's my old build. I still have all the keys to it. It's funny because I went to another job. And then from that job, I got in my trade, sometimes you get laid off and then you go to another job, depending upon the needs. So I got laid off and then went to another company. But I never gave my keys. They never asked for them. So I still have the keys to this building.
Oh.
Yeah, I got a box of old keys. It's funny because there's so many keys that I would have to take like this box of like 40 keys. So, anyway, I'm building up a hand of Invisible Woman cards because I've been avoiding playing her because I got to pay the tax because to use her invisibility power, her next card is played face up, so it doesn't provide any symbols.
Oh, okay.
So I'm looking for a card that I couldn't play anyway, So,
right.
So this is the card that I could. Yeah. So this card has an attack, but so I'm going to play that card because I still get the symbols from the Human Torch card, which is a movement and a heroic action. So what she's going to do. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of that token to remind me that she used her invisibility. So she's going to move. And for her heroic action, she's going to start battling the Skrull warriors in S.H.I.E.L.D. So she's this invisible warrior going through the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters, rooting out who's a Skrull warrior and who's an actual S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. So that was a good use of her power. Now, the Skrull goes. Oh, geez, I just realized it was the Skrull turn. So I got to undo that because since I moved this card, the villain acts after every 2 cards. So the Super Skrull ups his plan. So I'll do Sue's turn next turn. All right. So now the Super Skrull, here's his card. He's going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. So he's going to the police headquarters. Matching powers. If the next master plan card has a BAM, it uses the last 2. Okay, so he's building up for a stroke next time, a master plan next time. But he releases 2 thugs. So he releases 2 Skrulls that are not in disguise. 2 Skrulls that are not in disguise. Now, unfortunately, he sends Skrulls into the Baxter building, but there's no room for it. So what that means is we play a Skrull card face down. It doesn't do anything, but it just burns his deck because if I go to get a Skrull card and there are no more, the Skrull wins. So, That sucks. So now I'm going to do what I was going to do for the Invisible Woman. She moves over here and starts battling the Skrull Warriors. All right. Now I draw another card. All right. So where's Johnny Storm? Johnny Storm's there. We got to start rescuing civilians and beating thugs to get rid of one of these cards, because then we could fight the Super Skrull directly. So the Invisible Woman. All right. So. All right. So I'm going to play an Invisible Woman card. Now, you can't see it, but this was her previous card. So she doesn't provide any symbols because that's the cost of turning invisible. So she has a movement, but luckily the movement could go here. And then she has a heroic action. So the heroic action, she's going to rescue this civilian. So Clay Quartermain is my favorite S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and he died back in 1986 in Nick Fury vs. S.H.I.E.L.D. and never came back. Everybody talks about Bucky. Bucky died, came back. Gwen Stacy apparently is coming back. Uncle Ben died and never came back, but everybody laments Uncle Ben and remembers, but nobody remembers poor Clay Quartermain, who died in 1986, unsung hero. He was super active throughout the 70s and 80s, and they chose him to die because they knew he was a fan favorite, and it added like legitimacy to the Nick Fury vs. S.H.I.E.L.D. miniseries, and poor Clay never came back. So in my version, Sue rescued Clay Quartermain, my favorite S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. I salute you, Clay, the forgotten hero of Marvel. All right, so that was 2 cards. So now the Super Skrull goes again, and it is a BAM. All right, now this actually worked out because the previous card said if the next card is a BAM, you used all the symbols on the previous 2 heroic cards. Well, the previous card was the Invisible Woman, but the card before that, she was invisible. So there are no symbols. So it kind of worked out in our favor. So bam. So Super Skrull is going to go 2. So again, we have a Skrull on Yancey Street. He does damage to everybody on his tile, which is nobody. Then he releases. So he's going to release Skrulls in Yancey Street, a Skrull in the Baxter Building, but this the Baxter Building's full. Oh, this is getting bad. We're running out of cards, and then a Skrull in S.H.I.E.L.D. All right, and then a star. Deal 1 damage to each hero in adjacent location. Oh man, so he's going to hit the Invisible Woman and the Human Torch. Oh god. In case you're wondering, I only have 2 cards in my hands. Basically, I only have the group has 2 hit points. All right, that was, and then a movement, and then the Skrull moves to S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh man, that was pretty tough. All right, now I go. We still can't win. Oh man, I don't think we'll get a win. All right, so we got to do something. So the previous card, we have a heroic action and a movement. Where is Ben? All right, so Ben, he. I always said that Ben is that he's like the emotional, he's the big rocky guy, but to me he's like the sweetheart. He pretends to be tough and everything like that, but I always thought like he's like paradoxically he's like the most emotional. Like you say anything to Ben and he's like, I'm an idiot freak, like emotions really. So he's like the most humane out of the group. So he's going to use these 2 heroic actions to rescue civilians. He doesn't even know who they are, and he's being a hero, and then he gets to move. So he's gonna move over here because he wants to fight the Super Skrull. All right, so he moved. That was his action. I draw another card. Oh, Ernest, what did it say? Oh man, I didn't know this. it says it's disappointing that to buy the FF edition is over $60 on eBay and not available to the online store from Steam. Oh wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, yeah. I like a crazy person when they announced this game, I backed everything all at once because the CMON stuff, they make it once and then it's one of those companies that collectors like. So everybody bought. So like you got to get in on it when you got to get in on it. Like they do in DC United, and that's going to be shipping soon. So pretty soon I'll be able to play the same game but with DC characters, and I'm going to have another stack because I was all in on DC. And I think you can mix and match. So that would be kind of cool to have Superman and the Fantastic Four fighting Galactus and stuff like that.
That'd be cool.
And I think they're going to have rules from because you can't really play more than one villain. But Spider-Man has if you get the Spider-Man box, which I haven't even tried it. There's rules for the Sinister Six. So you could have 6 villains running around. That's got to be insane.
Yeah.
All right. So Ben just went. And now let's see. I've drawn another Ben card. Let's see. Invisible Woman. All right, so I'm gonna play Invisible Woman. Invisible Woman has Ben's heroic action and a wild action, and I get to take 2 tokens, wild tokens that I could use by any character on any turn. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to use one of these wild. Well, she has a wild action, so I'm going to use her wild action to turn it into an attack. And Sue beats the last of the Skrull warriors in Shield. Okay, all right. So that clears this. So her second. She will now. She's going to use one of the wild tokens to defeat this Skrull, and then she's going to use her last action to. She's going to move over here. All right. Okay, that's that, and then she might as well use this. No, I'll use that wild action later. All right, so all right, that's 2. Now the Skrull's going to go. And he's going to move to Times Square. He's going to get a BAM. Okay. Okay, when the Super Skrull can't be damaged. Okay, I'm just making sure. Oh, crap. I forgot that he got stronger from this. Okay. All right. So now he attacks everybody here, but there's nobody there. Then we look wild action. Okay. So now the Super Skrull does something sinister. We cannot hit the Super Skrull until we get rid of this crisis token. All right. And then he releases Skrulls into the mix. So we got, I don't want to go look at, so we put a Skrull there. I got a box of tokens, and I don't want to use proxies. I want to use the exact ones. So we put a Skrull. Central Park is lousy with Skrulls, and Shield headquarters. Luckily, they're regular Skrulls, not attack Skrulls. All right, so we put that there. All right, now we go again. Where are we? Where are we? All right. The Invisible Woman has. All right. So this. Do I have the Coming of Galactus? They have some of the other expansions for sale, not just the FF. Yeah, I think once they announced the Fantastic Four movie, speculators bought all the copies. That's all I can imagine. That's what I can imagine. That. Go to local game stores. They might have them on the shelf. You know, they don't have it on Amazon. Did you check Amazon? And do I have the Coming of Galactus version? I ordered it. I still have a whole wave of Marvel stuff showing up. So so that'll be coming in it's the Spider-Verse, the Welcome to the
Ooh.
Spider-Verse, the movie. So there's all. So I ordered that because it had the coming of Galactus. So that'll be coming. Otherwise, I'd be playing it right now because I freaking love Galactus. All right, so where am I? I got 2 Thing cards and 2 Invisible Woman cards. Okay, so I have a wild action, a wild token, and all right. So where is Ben? Ben is over there. I need to. I need to clear one of these cards, so I can't use read because I don't have a read card. I can only use the Invisible Woman and the Thing. So all right, so the Thing is just going to start clobbering. So he punches out these 2 Skrull infiltrators. All right, and then he has a wild action. I'm going to use his wild action to move. And then I'm going to use this last spare token to defeat this thug. I got to clear one of these cards so we could actually hurt the Super Skrull. All right, so that's 1. So we draw again. It's like it's cool. You look at this timeline to keep track of everything. So all right, so what do I want to do? I got to read Richard's card, and his card is full. So, okay, cool. So I'm going to play Reed. So Reed is playing a teamwork card. Teamwork cards have a little bit of a text on them. So it says, first perform all the actions on the Fantastic Four card. There's a card here that says Fantastic Four. There's no tokens on it because this is the first teamwork card I played. So he gets no bonus actions. Then after you do that, you get to put a wild token on it. So the next person who plays teamwork gets this plus everything else. So it builds up over time. It's kind of cool. If you play a lot, but I haven't been playing the teamwork cards. I think I've been losing them in damage. So now he gets a wild action and 2 attacks. So with his 2 attacks, he's going to take out these 2 thugs. So there's 2 Skrulls that get defeated in Central Park. Then for his wild action, he's going to beat this other Skrull, and that unlocks this card. Perfect. So now we could do direct damage to the Super Skrull. Oh, I forgot to give the Super Skrull another hit point from that. Every time you play a card that says BAM on it, he gets another hit point. Everything about the Super Skrull is he just waits out the clock. He's just waiting out the clock. He will win. So you got to beat him fast. You got to do everything fast. So now that is at the end of the turn, you may move 2 people from this location to any other location. So I'm going to send 1 person to Shield. So Nick Fury's go back to Shield. I'm doing that because you don't want any card to fill up. All right. So that's all right. Oh, geez. We're going to lose because there's only 1 more Skrull card. So now the Skrull goes twice. He goes to the police headquarters. And bam. So whenever he gets a bam, he gets an extra hit point. Yeah, Super Skrull's going to beat us. I might reset this and play it again because it's fun. Release civilian over here. Oh, there you go. So we got 1 round to beat the Super Skrull because there's no more Super Skrull cards. And wild action. Okay. So there we go. So there's no more. So if I got cards in my hand. If I don't beat the Super Skrull now, we lose. All right. So what are we going to do? And nobody is near him. So this, I don't think we're going to win. Yeah. So this is frustrating. Yeah. So
Can
Ben,
you? Is there a way to bring in other superheroes as backup?
He's going to move. not once the game has already begun, but I got a stack. I got Adam Warlock. I got
Ooh.
I got almost every. If I should make a who is calling me? Oh, crap. We lost. I'm going to stop this and start another one. I got to take this call.
All right.
Hello.
I got to go. See you later, man.
Good. How are you?